Hey ladies, happy Wednesday and welcome to VLX TV. So this final week, I want to wrap up this conversation we've been having around financial independence and starting a side business, bringing in side income, starting an online business, and finish up with this big topic here because I introduced kind of one of those things we don't talk about openly in public, right? How do you not judge your friends in network marketing? Well, what if after that conversation you thought, now that I can see this from a different perspective, now that I am understanding this a little bit more, maybe this is something I'm interested in, or maybe this is something that you're already doing. Well, if that's the case, I want to congratulate you. I want to celebrate you because any good and bold endeavor I think is worth celebrating. This is certainly a good thing, generally speaking. But if you are interested in this kind of thing, but you're still scared and you don't know how to get started, and you certainly don't want to go ask one of your friends who is doing one of these because you know what's going to happen if you do that. So I want to just give you a little bit of advice after all of the research I've done around these companies and the whole business opportunities that they present, and just give you some things to consider when you're potentially going to move into this, okay? So the first thing is, rather than going to a friend who's very excited about what they're doing, back up and look at what are you passionate about. Now, a lot of people actually struggle with that, and they're not really sure, honestly. They don't know yet what their passions are or how they want to help the world or what they could do as far as a sense of bigger purpose. But what generally interests you? Is it home decorating? Is it cooking? Is it health and fitness? Is it kind of more wellness, like the oils type of kind of lifestyle? Is it fashion? Is it makeup? What interests you? What already gets you pumped to talk about with your friends, already is easy for you to just go on and on about or get excited about, or that's what you want to do when you have free time, or that's what you would want to shop for, or that's where you get gift certificates from friends and family. So what passions and interests do you already have? Hey, Suzanne. So think about that first, because you don't want to join one of these companies and then you realize you don't actually like what you're representing. That's a little ludicrous. So the first things first, does it align with your own personal interests, your own personal passions and priorities, okay? Next, now here's where we get a little more tactical and business savvy from here on out, okay? So the way that most of these companies work, as we discussed last week, is that you not only recruit other people in order to also have them represent, right? That's how some people consider them a scam. But in reality, these companies, again, are very closely moderated. They're very closely watched, and they are selling some kind of product or service to the public that is of actual value, that is a good thing, and that is beyond just the scope of recruiting more people. There is some good or product being sold. Usually, there is a way for people to just purchase that product as a normal consumer, rather than having to join a team or join the company or sign up as a rep or a coach or something. And there's a way to just be a customer. And that's the sign that the company is a reputable company, that they are actually providing a good. And then you can kind of maybe get discounts and other perks if you sign up to be a representative and get that product. But here's the deal. Because you want to be able to kind of start with that, lead with that in many ways, rather than, hey, I'm in this company and you should join my team and you don't even really know what it's for, but it's a cool team and come join us. You want to be able to describe this product that we've now decided you have chosen because you're so passionate about. And when you're doing that, think about the product. Because generally there is, in many of these companies, not the one that I'm with and not some of them, but in some of them, there is a kind of a monthly minimum, or there's something that happens each month where there has to be a certain amount of that product sold or consumed or used or whatever, right? So if you're selling something, it would help you out a lot in retention of customers, in just explaining the opportunity to people to have something that is consumed. So I don't know all of the companies well enough, so believe me, I'm not bashing any particular companies because I'm just not even aware of them. So I've heard, though, that there's one that sells stamps, for example. I'm not even entirely sure that that's true, but that sounds familiar. So think about that. If you are selling people stamps, like, I only need one stamp, maybe one with my name and one with a heart or something, but I don't need a new stamp every month. So you want to look for a product or a company, right, that's selling a product that's called a consumable, and they will often refer to it as that. So it's a consumable. So in Beachbody, for example, which is the company that I'm a member of because of the health work that I do, the fitness programs that are sold are one and done. I mean, you buy PiYo, you buy, 21-day fix, and you have it for life. Or now they have this like yearly subscription to their website, so you have all the workouts, but it's a subscription. But it's still yearly. So their consumable is a shake, and that's the case with a lot of the health and fitness companies. They sell a shake or they sell vitamins, they sell something that ostensibly people are taking or using or eating and are consuming and therefore running out of and therefore needing to replace, which gives you another commission the next month and helps you meet whatever those, monthly things are, okay? Now, right on from that, many of these companies force you, and I don't like to use that word, but you understand what I'm saying, like in order to be able to stay active, or whatever their word may be, you have to meet some kind of monthly minimum. And that can be very scary. And that right there is the reason why I have always been very, very reticent to join any of these things. And most people have this immediate defensiveness of, oh, no, they're trying to sign me up for this thing, because they know that it functions as kind of a retainer or a subscription that will be potentially difficult to get out of. And if they buy your skin cream or your oils or something, and again, I don't know how various different companies work, so I'm not trying to say anything about any of them, but I'm just, pontificating, shall we say, going on. You need to do it again the next month. You need to have a base order the next month, or you get put on some kind of automatic subscription where it's just sent to you and you're billed and you don't even know, and suddenly you've got more of this thing than you know what to do with, and you've spent hundreds of dollars on it, right? So that's what people are generally so afraid of and trying to avoid. However, not all companies do that, okay? Particularly now, as we talked about in the last video, network marketing has changed a lot because of the internet. I was talking to my husband just the other day, who used to be, apparently, I didn't know this, in high school or college, a rep for one of the other health and fitness companies. And he had this like monthly minimum. He had to stock the product. He had to keep, so he had to have the product in his house, and he was the seller of it. And I just thought, wow, they have come a long way in how they go about this, so that it's not nearly as much of a burden financially or logistically on the people who are representing the company. So when you're picking a company, right, and I'm going to keep recapping these so you guys have them all in your mind, you're first looking for something you're passionate about and can stand behind, right? What's of interest to you? What do you already believe in? Then you're looking for something where you have a consumable product that you can either use yourself or offer to other people, but it's not like a one and done. No one ever needs another one again. So clothing, for example, I think would be tough. Tupperware, I can only imagine, is relatively tough. Stamps, if that even exists, would be tough. And then you're looking ideally for a company that doesn't require you to have a monthly minimum, and yet you can still be actively growing your business. So that is true of Beachbody. I'm sure it's true of other companies. I'm not really, again, very clear on them. But the goal would be to be able to bring in a commission, or somehow be able to really reward yourself somehow, or get compensated without having to put out more money than you're bringing in. So I'm just going to use Beachbody as an example because it's what I know. There is a way that you have a monthly shake order, but you can turn that off, and you pay a $15 fee for just maintaining your website, your business website, and you still make commissions. And actually, I think many companies do this. So if you're in one or you're considering one, and this is true of you, please check with them. For Beachbody Military, that fee is waived. Either the active spouse themselves, the active member themselves, or their spouse. So as an active duty military spouse, I don't have a business fee through Beachbody. I'm not currently active on the shakes, but I am making commissions. So I have found a company that I believe in that has a consumable product, those shakes, and the yearly recurring fitness would be the same thing, kind of, but it's not frequent enough to really build good commissions, right? And then I don't have to stock the product, which is another key point. Do you have to keep this product in your home and then be the person to hand it out, or will the company directly ship it to whoever you have found who's interested? That's key. Like, you want Amazon style fulfillment. You don't have to have these things all boxed up in your basement, right? And then is there a way to stay active and gaining something from being in this company without having to like sell your soul every month in some kind of monthly minimum or monthly rate or monthly fee that's just exorbitant? And that's how the company will be making money, right? So that's what you're looking for. And then finally, is there a way for you to really provide value in people's lives aside from just convincing them to buy this thing? So many companies have this built in, particularly the health and fitness companies. Beachbody absolutely does. And some companies might not, but that doesn't mean that you couldn't figure out a way to offer that to the people who you are either bringing in as a customer or bringing in as another representative, where you are not only saying, here's my thing, buy it every month and then have a great life, but you're actively helping them to improve their lives. And that's where I think really the importance comes in, because that's what keeps this from being a kind of pushy spam and scam all your friends kind of thing. Is, are you able to truly improve someone's life using this product that you have decided you believe in, that is regularly consumed, and that you're able to, allow yourself to get a good commission for, or something that keeps you going instead of just draining money, right? And then are you able to improve people's lives? So the Beachbody model for this is something called challenge groups. And it's where people come in, they either buy the product as a customer or they sign up as a coach to get it at a discount. But either way, the goal is for them to focus on using the fitness programs and the shakes to get a higher level of health within 21 days or a month, or we set kind of a challenge. And what I need to do in order to make sure that those people feel well supported, because what happens with many coaches and with many people in these various different companies is they sell you the product and then they peace out, right? They're looking for the next sale. When in reality, the best way to do this, or any kind of business, any kind of support, is to stay in there with that person, show them how to use it, walk them through a real lifestyle shift. I don't know how you would have a lifestyle shift around stamps, and I apologize for picking on poor stamps, but you could do this with oils or with skincare or even with makeup. Okay, let's change your lifestyle around taking care of yourself every day, pulling yourself together, having a sense of self, even if every day feels like drudgery or work is boring or the kids are crazy. Let's carve out a 20-minute ritual for you, busy mom or busy professional, and honor yourself through applying these eyelashes or whatever, right? So you're creating a value using the product that you represent to improve these people's lives. And if you're going to do one of these things, that I will also tell you is how you build a relationship and a respect and a trust with whoever is deciding to follow you or join you on this venture, to believe that you're really in it for them. And it's because you actually are. They believe it because you should be. It should be authentic. It should be sincere. So whatever that looks like, and whether or not it's a part of the model of the business that you join already or not, because Beachbody kind of sets it all up for you, or with another company they might not, but you can brainstorm and you could come up with a way to have, a Facebook group that supports people in more of a lifestyle shift, more of an accountability or encouragement or sisterhood or community, all that kind of stuff that really fills people's hearts and souls, because that's what they're looking for. And then the product is just the how. It's just the catalyst or the resource that makes it possible, or that people are all gathering around. So just to recap these points and the general premise here, these companies, again, are not evil. And if they have been in business for a long time, then they have been very closely watched, and what they're doing is sufficiently legal for the government to not shut them down. So you can feel safe joining them. And if this is something that you're interested in, if this feels like, I think I could do this, and like I mentioned also last week, you don't have to spam all of your friends. You can use all these new online business tactics and ways of reaching people who are already interested in that, rather than trying to get your friends to sign up. You can go find people who want this already. And I can't go into all those different tactics, but you can certainly Google them, honestly. There's many, many ways to do this well now. So it's not a bad thing. And if it's something that you feel is right for you, then go for it. But as you go for it, step back, and without running to a friend who already does one, unless it's a friend who's very, very secure in herself and isn't going to push you into what she does, but just lay it out there and say, here it is. Maybe it's right for you. Maybe it's not. No pressure, no worries, which is how I like to do it and how I like everybody else to do it, honestly, but you don't always get that. So step back. Don't go to that crazy friend who's just desperate to meet the next rank. step back. What do you already believe in? What has helped you already? What are you already interested in? And I'll throw this in there too. What is good for other people, right? So maybe you're really, really passionate about, I'm just going to make something up here. Twizzlers. You just love Twizzlers. They are your favorite candy. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't think we should sell things to people that will harm them, even if they're fun temporarily. But that's just me. So pick something that you can stand behind, that you're already interested in. Pick something that offers a consumable, not a stamp, not a box, not, I don't know, shirts or leggings or something where you're really going to have a hard time trying to get people to keep buying that. So you're always going to have to go find new people, and that's going to be very stressful. So something that's consumable, something that you believe in, and then something that doesn't require that you stock it or store it at home, doesn't require a monthly minimum for you to still be able to start creating income. And then find some way to provide true value and support and encouragement in the lives of the people that you're reaching out to, rather than just a one and done, a thanks for the sale, good luck using the product. Really foster an environment where their lives can change. And not only is that going to fulfill you, it's going to make them feel loved on, but it's actually going to help them to spread the word in a positive way rather than run from this chick, she's just trying to sell you, okay? So those are my thoughts on this, and I would love to hear more about what you guys think. If this is something, again, that you have tried, that you've seen your friends do poorly, do well. It's an interesting world, isn't it? And there's definitely, I think, a major resurgence in these companies recently, but I think they're doing it differently than they used to. I think they're doing it much better, and I think that we should bother to take the time to reconfigure our stigmas around them. And it's kind of like counseling, where counseling used to mean you had all these bad issues, and now it's like what every normal, healthy person who wants to improve themselves in their life does. So let's just reshape the way that we see these things, even if they're still being done poorly. The companies are now running themselves differently because of what the internet has allowed them to do. So if you don't want to give them a chance, totally fine, but at least have grace for your friends. And if you do give them a shot, then consider these things that I've laid out for you. If you guys have questions around them, I would be more than happy to answer. Beachbody has really surprised me. I was very, very skeptical of all of these things. Like I said last week, I ran from people who were trying to accost me to sign up for things. But I've really enjoyed being inside one, not just because I love what Beachbody does. Oh, hey, Suzanne, you tried Beachbody living. Oh, yeah, living overseas. Where do you live, actually? They're starting to go international. I don't want to spill too many beans because I don't know all the information yet, but I think that the UK may be next, and they are building up their Spanish-speaking and French-speaking components. I think they've got global eyes. So you may just come back to it later. But something you can do from afar, yeah, there are, and that's another thing to consider is where is it available, right? A company that I also looked into is called Melaleuca, and I believe that that is global. Honestly, the compensation plan did not seem to have nearly the amount of growth possible, but it was a nice company, and I checked it out and tried it out, and honestly, I felt spiritually called to Beachbody, which just blows my mind. Like, it was very confirmed in prayer after months of fighting it. But Melaleuca also was one that I very seriously considered, and one of the big pros for me with that one was that it was global. So I picked Beachbody anyway. Jamberry. I've heard of that. What is Jamberry? Is that... sorry, I know that I'm talking, which is fast, and you have to type. I know that's slower, but I feel like I've heard of that, and I can't think of what it is. But yeah, that's the concept, is what works for you? What do you like? What would you already feel natural talking to your friends about? Like if I started talking about, I don't know, if I started talking, I talk about all these kinds of topics anyway. I talk about eyelashes. I was waiting for it. Nail wraps. Okay. Would need somebody to ship for me through the States. Where do you live right now? Sounds like a very interesting life. Yeah, that's true. You could kind of set up something complicated. Nail wraps. Yeah, and that's a consumable. I mean, that meets, you like them, and it meets they're going to be reused. And then, so what are the others? You would check in to see if you had to store them, if you had to meet a monthly minimum, or if you could make commissions without having to buy a certain amount of product yourself. Like what's the profit margin for you is that question. And then, how could you create a fun community around that? Kind of like the eyelash example. Could you create like, hey, take 5-10 minutes for yourself and create some beauty in your life so that even when you're stuck at the cubicle typing and wishing you were at the beach, at least your nails look awesome and that brings you some joy or something like that. So yeah, find something that brings you joy and then it will be easy to spread that joy to other people. But I think that's a great idea. So anyway, I'd love to just hear more comments from you guys, questions that you have, and I promise I'm not here to spam you or push you, so we can have an open conversation. And I do love Beachbody. I have to admit, I've been very impressed by them. And the profit margin for me is nothing but it's free from military, and then I can make commissions, and it's something I believe in so much. So anyway, I have loved this odd digression of topics that we've had for the last couple weeks. I've never planned to talk about money or financial independence, but like I said way back at the beginning, it's something that God has put in front of me in the last year, like a roadblock. You're driving on the road and there's just this massive wall in front of you. I have not been able to miss this one with some of the things that I've seen happening around me and in clients' lives and in friends' lives. And it's clearly something we need to consider and maybe take action around. So I hope these last 4 or 5, whatever it's been, videos have been helpful to you guys. I hope it's inspired you at least to take it to God in prayer and say, is this something that you need me to think about more? Is this an area of my life I need to address differently? Because He is a practical God, He's a loving God, He's a knowing God, and He knows money, He knows relationships, He knows how the world works, He knows how you work, so there is no topic that He can't handle and have the best answer on. So I hope this has been helpful. I love you ladies so much. Have a gorgeous week. Oh yes, please do, Suzanne. They were really, I think they were really helpful. They were helpful to me as I was saying them to myself and everyone else. So yeah, please do, and leave comments. I'd love to know your thoughts, and just fun to see you in here, fun to meet you. So I wish this could be like a, well, you guys might not want like that, but I wish sometimes I could see your faces, more like a Zoom call where everybody's present. But it's fun to see your names and your profile pictures and your comments. So thank you ladies for being here, and I will chat with you next Wednesday. Bye-bye.